Hello and good afternoon, and welcome back to my Slayer series, where I will be continuing to look at some of the most common Slayer monsters that I do on my tasks, with regards to their weaknesses and not weaknesses, and whether it's okay to use various methods to kill them. Just before we get back into the Slayer, I'm just going to give a little account update. As you can see up in my XP tracker, I've slightly switched back to doing some Slayer again now. The magic XP that I've gained here, that was just from Ganodermic Beasts, which I've been camping for a little while, hence why I haven't really been making too much content. But I decided to go back to Slayer for a bit last night, and so I've carried on that a little bit today. I think I'm going to probably do about a mil Slayer and then go back to Ganodermic Beasts and kind of do it like that. But yeah, just as a stats update, I got 99 hit points last night, which was really nice to see. It's the first one of my combat 99s ticked off, I guess you'd say. And I also just got 99 prayer literally 2 seconds ago on a Dark Beast task. It's worth noting that I actually managed to go from 92 to 93 prayer completely on the back of a bone crusher. So I literally did not bury a single bone or do anything like that. All the prayer I've done is from the bone crusher and urns. So that's not strictly true saying bone crusher, but yeah, basically I haven't done any proper prayer training, and I've managed to go from 92 to 93, which is good to see. Obviously still at 95 Slayer at the moment. I've probably got a couple of range levels, I think. Got a magic level, obviously 99 hit points. I think that's probably it since my last video. Can't really remember. Just to say that apparently I've got a 95 summoning banked. So one of my subscribers, I think, was very kind enough to work it out for me. So thank you very much to him. That was really, really kind. So it's nice to know I've got 95 summoning banked. Once I get to 96, then I guess I should just plough my money into getting summoning done. Oh, I got 80 agility. I still need to make my agility video. I will probably do that at some point. But for now, I'm just going to pause the video there. I've just got a steel drags task. So I think what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to mage them this time. Because I have been obviously meleeing them pretty much all the other times. So I think I'm gonna do a mage task on them and see how that goes. So I will be back with you at Steel Drags. Okay, and here we are at Steel Dragons. Currently I'm using momentum on these with water spells just from the basic spellbook, purely because I couldn't be bothered to go and switch to ancients. But as you can see, it's a little tricky. There's a guy in the way. I kind of hit well enough. I certainly hit consistently on them, and this is using a slightly weaker water spell. Obviously they're weak to water spells, but yeah, as a sort of vaguely AFK method, if you want to use momentum, certainly this hits well enough. There's a guy here next to me. I mean, admittedly he's only level 164, but I'm consistently out hitting him on Steel Dragons just versus his melee abilities. That's probably an unfair comparison because obviously my stats are probably a lot higher than his. But you know, I can hit 1000 on these quite easily, and it hits nice and consistently just with the momentum. So what I'll do next is I'll switch to abilities and see what the difference is like. Okay, so we're back with abilities. As you can see, kind of straight away, I tend to hit a bit higher, obviously, and more consistently higher with abilities. If you can be bothered to use them, you know, this probably, if I'm honest, hits a bit better than melee when I was using kind of chaotic claws. I hit very consistently above 1500, sometimes even 2000, pretty consistently. You got to be a little bit careful. There's one of the mage abilities, I can't remember which, that I keep using, which splinters often hits them all. So if you're not soul splitting, it might cause you a bit of pain if you don't have super anti-fires as well. But generally, yeah, if you want to use abilities here, in my opinion, it's as quick as certainly the melee method I was using. I think, if I'm honest, the difference between using momentum with melee and momentum versus magic, I think using momentum with melee probably hits a little bit higher. I'd have to go back and watch some of my other videos, But yeah, I think if you were going to momentum, I would possibly say that um, that melee is a slightly better bet. Although the good thing about magic is the fact that you don't really have to run around or move too much, and you know, if you use the ability that splinters off, it's like the needle shot for range. I just can't remember the name of it. Then that's probably, you know, a good way of tagging them all. And as I say, in fairness, I'm not using, pardon me, I'm not using ancients, so I guess the damage I'm doing is probably a little bit less than what it would be if I was using, you know, a spell from Ancient's book. But nonetheless, yeah, I think definitely from now on, if I'm going to be doing steel drags with abilities, I'll probably use magic rather than melee. And here we are now on a Gargoyles task. Oh, sorry about my squeaky chair. Yeah, we're on a Gargoyles task here, and I'm using magic with a similar setup to basically what I was using for the Steel Dragons in the previous task. So I'm using water spells and momentum. Again, as you can see, as with the Steel Dragons task, I hit pretty consistently. Not overly high, but again, if you're kind of wanting an easy training task or training method for Gargoyles, I would seriously consider this. If you want to use abilities, that's fine. You can just you'll obviously hit higher like you saw in the Steel Dragons task, but yeah, for momentum these are absolutely fine. What I'll do in the next clip is I will switch to melee and you can have a look at that. And here we are with melee. As you can see straight away, I'm using abilities rather than momentum, and the hits are most times over 1,000, depending on the ability. Obviously, if I use a threshold, it's more like 2,000. But yeah, certainly using abilities with melee on Gargoyles against using momentum with magic, you're going to hit more. I would say if you were to use abilities with magic, you would hit more using magic on Gargoyles certainly than you would with melee. But as you can see, at my kind of level, on my stats and stuff, yeah, you hit perfectly well against these Gargoyles. If you get confused by some of the XP information in the window, this clip's a little old now, but yeah, you can see it's fine. And that'll do it for today's video, I think. So tomorrow I'm going to be finally doing my agility video, which hopefully some people might well enjoy, probably for all the wrong reasons. And anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thumbs up because I just got an effigy, and I will speak to you all soon.